Hey everybody, welcome to Stream. Oh, whoops, I haven't logged in. Let me... I'm Teo, we're going to be playing some Genshin Impact just as soon as I log into this. Boop. That way you guys don't see my email and password stuff. Hey Wolf, good to see you. And we're back up. Today we are going to, I think, finish the murder mystery in Fontaine. And if you guys are looking for more of a chill stream, you could also go do the rest of the potion shop stuff. Or at least the next half of it. Murder? Alright, bet. Wow, is it really just you and me tonight, Finch? That's weird. And I only started oh, hey, Leafy! Great to see you. I was about to say I only started a minute later than normal, so I can't imagine that's what it was. Great to see you, Leafy. We're doing murder mystery stuff tonight. It's up there, right? Yeah, we got it today. Why would you... Also, what do you mean not let you? You're an adult, you can do whatever you want. I just think it's horrible. I'm not gonna beat somebody up if they try to eat ice cream on sandpaper. I just think it's stupid. What do you mean reasons? Got the wrong kind of ice cream. What? Is there a type of ice cream that's especially important for sandpaper? You can also use it to sharpen your utensils. I think it was to 10 a.m. the next day, right? Yeah, anyway. That's why you considered sandwiches for selling in the grocery store? Because stabbing someone with a spoon just doesn't work right if it's dull. What the hell? Oh wait, 10:25 at night. That's not right. Whoops. It's 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, there we go. Whoopsie daisy. Wait. Oh, frick. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm an idiot. Here we go. You've been conspiring about this for several days now. Great. Now I'm going to get stabbed by a sharp spoon by my girlfriend. Super pumped about that. So glad you guys have conspired against me.
I was gonna be sneaky, and then I realized the door's in front of you. Look back.
Oh, great. See what you're making her do? She's going to get freaking ice cream sandpaper. I'm cool being the little spoon. Yeah, not being stabbed by one.
The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides,
Look,
I doubt Farina understands
Leafy,
any
she's
more
really
about
pretty.
what
But
happens
also,
than we do.
her two cronies and her make me think of like old school Team Rocket. Lainey, good to see you.
We'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Like, these guys remind me so much of Team Rocket. How you doing, Lainey? Have a pretty good Saturday? You're just tuning into M4 Scream while you waited for mine? Right on.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Oh crap, I still haven't followed M4.
You
I
might be
need to.
disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation, that was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
She's a butthole.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare
gonna
that the
pop
trial
out.
regarding the
You're playing
magic
D&D, just
show
wanted to see
incident
what the
is
moral-
now in session.
The moral
Firstly,
disappointment
in
about
order
the
for the audience to
sandpaper.
understand the causes and results
Yeah,
of the
thanks,
incident,
Leafy.
could we
Have
please
fun
have
playing
Mr.
D&D.
Linney
I actually just
explain
finished a
the
session
trick?
myself.
Yes,
I
of
hope you come
course.
back at some
I
point.
will explain.
Even
while
if you
Lynette
don't,
demonstrates
we'll
on
send you a
stage.
clip because
All
Finch
the
is probably going to
necessary
show up with
items have been
sandpaper and
prepared.
ice cream in a few minutes and eat it on stream, so you'll get to see that. He's ending
Thank you, Mr.
a
Linney.
6-hour stream in
In
30
that
minutes?
case,
Oh,
I take those you
jeez.
ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Hey, Macker,
Yes,
good to see you.
that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly
Sandpaper ice cream, did
in
y'all bring that up again?
tunnel at
No,
all.
Leafy shipped
That
us
is
some
simply your
for
hypothesis
Finch to
based on
do
the
this
presumption
with.
that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask,
It's not even that we brought it
what
up.
did you
Leafy
hear
sent
while you were
Finch some
inside your box?
to my apartment.
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any
This gives me
kind?
really strong. What's the
No,
lawyer video
nothing.
game?
But when the count
What
reached
the frick-
30
what is it called? It's like an
seconds or so,
animated
there was
game.
a thud. One so loud that I believe
Oh,
practically
that's
everyone
fine.
heard it.
That's you're a baby. Eat it off the sandpaper.
Okay, I will.
No, please don't. Go again. Phoenix, right? Yeah, exactly.
What I've done.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that
I
loud from
got
inside
this,
the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Please don't eat that off the sandpaper.
Look at those scales.
Yeah, Ace Attorney. That's what it's called. Standard custom. You do not eat it off sandpaper. Please tell me you don't actually eat ice cream off of sandpaper. Also, eating it on a bowl on top of the sandpaper does not count. But please don't do the thing that counts.
It's a cow.
No.
That is a threat.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself.
She hasn't given
You
any
never know
evidence
what
at all.
can happen in the blink of an eye.
Mecca seen you do it twice
Indeed,
already.
It seems
Eat
his alibi
ice cream
can
off
also
sandpaper?
collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
I do not like her.
Aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Also, as you said prior, F
The
Farina,
house of the
yeah.
hearth?
I don't see how that has
No
anything to do
wonder
with
they
this.
did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
You know she gets better, but you hate her?
That's
Yeah.
irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute.
You like the Justice skewed thingy? I agree, yeah. This
Your first
this place definitely
priority
represents a
is to
skewed
prove
version of
yourself
Justice.
innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept
You
secret
surprised you don't
now,
remember this?
unless your script
How do you not
already
remember
has
seeing you eat
holes
it?
in
Ice cream on sandpaper? Ha! See, Mecca doesn't remember you doing that. You lie.
The
You probably
Outlander
don't
is
lie, but
speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
it was a one-off time at 10 p.m.
Winnie,
But you said earlier it was
Why
twice.
didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to reestablish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr.
The first
Lee.
time was last week when you were
I'm
showing
sorry.
how you cut the ice cream. Oh, jeez.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted.
The 10 p.m. one was a few days ago when you showed it him again. Gross.
In that
Remember you
case,
showing me
what
a
is your
remembered ice cream
request?
bar, but you don't remember sandpaper? Also, autocorrect really does not like the word sandpaper, yeah.
Is that really necessary? They're all...
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Is that her bow or her hair tucked in her shirt? What? Can you kill Farina? Probably not. I think she would be stronger than you. Just a random dude runs in and punches her and she summons hydropower.
This is awkward.
You will not hurt
I didn't
the
think
innocent
the
child.
Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please.
I never know
let
what
me
to say
explain.
while they're talking about
I know
important
you've
plot
clashed
stuff.
with the Vatui
You don't get
several
why they're
times
friends with
before.
Child and not with these
I
two,
wouldn't be
right?
surprised if just
These two have done
hearing the
nothing,
words
and
enough to
Child
make you
tried to
upset.
kill China.
But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right.
Hey,
I'm sure we're on the
no-
same
no
page when it comes to
names,
this nation and the
please,
disaster that its
lady.
people might face.
but I agree. She annoys me a bit too.
I know if it weren't
I don't
for our
like court
respective
cases in general,
identities,
though,
we
so
could
that is
become
my
good
biggest
friends.
problem.
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but
I've
being
never
completely
enjoyed
transparent
court
about
stuff.
everything would see us spending more effort than we need
The
to.
Archon made you enjoy it more, but you love playing detective.
Right. So,
Oh, this
you be the
arc
judge.
made you enjoy it more. Okay.
Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this
I don't
point.
like playing detective. I
You
like
met a
playing
Fatous who
combat
works
in my
as a
combat
magician,
games.
a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Can't be much worse than U.S. court cases. Oh, jeez.
You both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
It's almost
During our
exactly like U.S.
investigations,
court
we
cases.
learned that the machine's
At least
core
the
is
televised
beneath.
ones that are like
From
fake.
that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after
never been to a
jumping into
real
the
one?
tunnel,
I've
I
watched a
accessed
real
the
one.
Opera House basement via the vent,
And they're boring.
and went to
At
investigate
least
the
the
room
room
in
is
which
boring.
the
Yeah, for
core
real.
is stored.
That air vent was created during
You've
the
been called for
construction
jury
of the
duty a couple
tunnel
times, but we've never
specifically to
actually
execute
summoned.
this step.
That's nice.
Well, nothing.
I've never gotten
As
that.
soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this
You've been
nation's
to
secrets in order to deal with that
Aruba a few
prophesized
times
crisis.
with your aunt, and it
That's the
sounds
only
almost
way we
like
can
this.
save
But then
everyone.
again, Philly laurels and
So,
you suck.
there you have it. The whole truth.
You get a letter that tells you
I
during
swear,
this week
I
we
didn't
might ask
hide
you to be
anything
on
from
jury
you this
duty.
time. It
And
was
then you
never my
answer
wish
any
to
unknown
proceed
numbers for
under
a
this
week and
cloud
never
of
actually
mistrust
called in.
either. But like
feel
I
like
said
serving jury
earlier,
duty
you
could be
can be
fun.
the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
You're traumatized too easily? Yeah, but most jury duty is civil. It's not that many criminal cases.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight, huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you...
But we do trust Fatui, Paimon. We actively help child. Yeah. Which I don't think makes any sense. Also, wait a second. What is this symbol? What is this? Do you guys know what this is? Yeah, I don't know either. Come to think of it, don't we have child's...
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
vision right now
When
for
last
some
we
reason?
left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long
yeah.
enough. Now then, if everyone would lend
He mentioned
me
how
their
it doesn't work and
attention,
he'd rather not have it
at
in a
this
fight, but like,
stage, let's
that's weird.
revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Based on the opposition accounts of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. What the cool minigame. I don't know if this is cool. This looks complicated. Refute any... Okay. Huh. This is interesting.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
We are actively carrying a criminal's tool to commit crimes, yet we're trying to play lawyer. It's simple, just fancy visuals. If this is complicated, you just don't know what to say. Yeah? Alright.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that...
Interesting.
And there you have it. That's the truth
This is a really cool
behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
Nope, he did it.
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
Identify loopholes. Can I just... Okay, cool.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after
I don't have to
entering the
refute
tunnel.
every step. Good to know. Some of them are correct. You
Couldn't
don't have to
had that
identify all of them.
altercation
Oh,
with
okay.
Halsey. Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Come to think of it. Aha.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
We did it.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say!
Ace Detective Paimon.
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
You don't want to hear her annoying saying what we could have said ourselves. I agree. I think it would have made more sense for us to say that since we did all of the reasoning and refuting.
Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
Seriously, we need
Assuming
Aether.
that what you
Have voice
say is
actors. We don't
true,
need Paimon. For
Linny
real.
only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him!
And that's why they're partners of mine.
The little rat taught us the language of this world.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
She's useless, but she had her use back before the game started. Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during... This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent.
What's my thought process? I don't know. I just clicked on one of the ones that didn't say relevant. There's no thought.
The best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
Literally, my brain is
To
empty.
think you'd use such logic.
We should have just called Yanfei. Yeah, for real.
Well,
I literally was
If
thinking
it
that.
wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Hmm. Order matters. Here's your favorite one of the 3 minigames. Okay. If Lenny is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troop would have been able to tamper with the props. Okay. Lenny gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a box, the idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lenny himself would also use the tunnel to get the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Oh, I bet it was to kill Lynette. Or someone else, I don't know.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have
Lenny
wanted
couldn't
to
have killed
take
Crowell
Halsey?
because Crowell killed Crowell, yeah.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Oh, I know that short. It's really funny. I've seen that.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, the sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the... Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. No one entered or left the opera house.
So we'll go with Cowell first.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
Top to guide what you're looking for.
The sound we heard may have come from...
Who's the prime suspect currently?
Lenny was not in the tunnel at...
Where did the missing Halsey go?
No one entered or left the Halsey's clothing was at...
No. How many envisage Lenny as having been able to interfere with the crime?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that...
Prime suspect.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Where did the missing Halsey go?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances.
Wait.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at...
No. Okay. How many vigilantes have been able to interfere with the crime?
Lenny was not in the tunnel at...
This one. Where did missing Halsey go?
No one entered or left...
So she's still here. No. So she's in the vents?
It would have been tough for both people to fit in...
You like Sumeru's decision to escape the loop with Nahida minigame way more than this? Wait, what? That was the only option I had. Shut up, I know I'm bad at this.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And
Didn't
here
really
I
learn how
thought
to
you had
think
something
in
to
this
show
art.
for it.
Yeah.
But it seems you're still far.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician.
If only we knew how Halsey did. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
I don't like
There
this
is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
What about murder? Only halfway the child thing, so it doesn't make too much
If
sense.
the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
That was a very Ace Attorney stance.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the
You
criminal.
meant like the process of thinking, not reaching conclusions? Yeah.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. The vase was not broken by chance.
Interesting.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed
Yeah, they
into
never said
water,
what how that worked.
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their road.
I don't
The way
like
I
Felina's
see
lines
it,
in this.
your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us
Here in
make more
Genshin,
progress.
you would have done what child
Guards,
did, Leeway, but
please
Fontaine,
step into the lounge and
geez, I
examine
wouldn't
the
go that
personal
far.
effects of the deceased Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Knew sitting comfy
The
in that
notebook
chair.
in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Oh,
The
yeah?
notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
It bothered me
The
so
notes
much that
also
they all have
state that
American
these
accents,
dissolution
but then
properties work
they say a
exclusively on
couple of
people from
words with a
Fontaine.
French accent incorrectly.
It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
That's horrible.
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
That is
Wait a
awful.
moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
You left Frina pre-Fontaine release and during her story
People
quest?
can become water. Does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that
For
girl...
the Archon quest, she's insufferable.
Just a minute.
Yeah, I can see that.
Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal
Ellis's voice is
effects has
amazing.
yielded
I
some
agree. I love
surprising
that guy's
results.
voice.
But we cannot
Only
yet
the first
verify
half? Yeah, I've been told the
veracity
second
of
half of
these
the Archon
clues.
quest she gets really good.
Still,
People really like it.
let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic. albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course.
She's scared
Thank
half the
you,
other time.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues
Why
can
doesn't
be
Liddy tell
connected
us
together.
how Lynette disappears in the water tank?
Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Unrelated? What do you mean unrelated? That sounds super related.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linney. The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner leg.
The rope is wrong.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. Lynette was in the magic box on...
What? But I already selected
Now it
this.
seems like the hook rope was not meant...
What? But I did that one.
You would click the other one.
No, but I clicked it.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You have footage.
Yeah, but I just didn't click continue, I guess.
Ahem. It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
That's horrifying.
Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
I'm so confused. This doesn't make sense.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linney's personal effects.
Uh-oh.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Does this not clear up, my dear citizens, my loyal audience? Allow me to present my...
Hey,
Did
M4.
not need
And
to
hey,
take
the two
part
people
in
you
the
brought. Great to see you
dissolution of
guys
the
here.
young
Glad you
woman
could
at
make it.
all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made
Nathan loves
modifications
Genshin. Right
to
on.
the
Good to see you,
props
Nathan.
beforehand,
I
his
hope you
accomplice
enjoy
Cowell
hanging out with
then
us.
caused
Today,
Halsey to vanish
as you can see, we're doing
using
the Fontaine
water
murder
from
mystery
the primordial sea.
law case thing.
But upon his return, in
I
cruel
suck at
avarice,
these, by the way.
Lenny
Not this
desired
part, but like
sole credit
the
and prepared
reasoning
to
games
do
in this
away with
game.
his partner in
Just finished a
crime.
6-hour stream. Oh my gosh. Hope it went well. That's a long stream.
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to
Why did
cover
it go
the
so
crime
long?
up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, am I right, Miss?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
We fell off at the end, but the beginning, middle went good, to be honest. Good!
Oh no!
Why'd you do such a long one today?
I can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this.
I suck at puzzles in general.
Water as new evidence
It's
was
struggling to watch me play puzzles? Is that what you're saying?
Why did this have to happen now?
You had so much content. Nice.
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my
It's a struggle to
good,
watch me do
noble
puzzles. Yeah,
Chief
sorry.
Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be
Well, I'm
hasty.
glad it's entertaining,
I have
at
a good
least.
reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss.
I've never played
but
either form of
miracles like that
Minecraft, I
are
don't
beyond
think.
my scope as a magician.
You played Bedrock.
I played Bedrock.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lady
Navi was never
Lynette.
your favorite.
Give it
Couldn't tell
another
why,
go.
though. Just didn't vibe with her.
Don't worry.
Weird.
Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila.
Who is operating those lights? What light technician just did that?
Sorry for the interruption.
She lives.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
Big reveal? Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
Oh?
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell.
Hey, yo, what?
I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me.
Why are all the immigrants in this game from Mondstadt?
He even mentioned
'Cause the other
Fortress
places are
of
cool, I
Narrapede.
guess?
That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how
Episode
shocked I
of
was.
Yellow Vines?
I
I've
thought
never
he was
played
onto
this.
me for sure.
First home in Lillian.
So
Yeah,
I
and that
played
guy
along
from
with the show while looking for
Mondstadt
an
who
opening
worked
to
at
flee.
Inazuma as a
But then I
merchant.
got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
Because they're the
I
most
wasn't going to
free.
take
Yeah,
that
they're
lying
allowed to
down,
travel.
So I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
I swear I didn't know that the
You
water
think
tank would fall
Mondstadt's god
down.
sucks?
Really, I swear it.
I also am
Had I
not a
known
crazy
that,
fan of
I
Venti.
wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time,
Yeah,
we
who
need
is
to tell
that,
the
Nathan?
entire
Who's
story from
Tempestella
Lillian's
Giallo?
perspective.
Wait, what? What? I'm confused. Because the loophole is she just told us that that's not what happened. That's the
The
what?
strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
I'm doing so good. Yeah, thanks. I'm the worst. This one's a bit confused. Becca, I'm being bullied. Infighting between Lily and Cowell. Sure. Ah, I nailed it. I'm the
not
best.
broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
I'm the best. Don't even worry about what I'm doing right now. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. I'm a moron. Hey.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just
Look, puzzles in this game are not my forte.
Time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic
Nathan, I'm so lost.
entered the tunnel.
It was the most awful thing you've ever watched. Well, didn't you see someone eat ice cream off sandpaper?
Hearing the commotion,
And now you have
into the
to.
tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved.
It'll feel so good once we get through most of Fontaine. Once Farina stops
She
being
did
an
not
annoying
know
brat,
that
you can
Lillian
tolerate
was
her.
not
Yeah.
from Fontaine.
What's my PC specs?
Made her way in by stealing a
Check what are my
ticket.
PC specs. I've got an i7 12400F. I've got
Believing that
a
the water from the primordial
GTX
sea
3060.
needed time to take effect. The
I've got
two
crappy
walked the
RAM I need to
flower-based
replace.
struggle, But Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out
Yeah,
and putting him in the
that's
box. With
those
no
are the
way of
specs.
escaping,
I've got a
she
crappy
changed her clothes
monitor
and
I
hid in the
bought
costume trunk
from Amazon.
until the performance ended.
My specs are fine. I've got like a terabyte of internal memory. I think I have like 16 gigs of RAM. Really slow, crappy RAM I need to replace, but.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped
How
two
did
of
she
them
take
right
them
under
from
our
in front of
noses.
us? That doesn't make any sense.
All the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
You're just a scientific type of fella.
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
I feel like Nouvelette is like watching a kid.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like
A deflated balloon.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid.
That's great.
Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine.
Wait, only people from Fontaine can be melted by that?
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met
Doesn't make any
Lillian.
sense.
Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box.
Continue with the story to find out
his
why.
own final victim.
Prophecy says water from the
Lillian,
primordial
according
sea
to
will
her
turn
own
Fontaine
statements,
citizens into
then
water.
changed clothes and hid until
What?
the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house.
That's odd.
As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings.
It makes sense eventually,
From this
does it?
reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can
I
be
doubt
handed
that it
over
will
to
make
the
sense.
oratories to make the final decision.
Punch the flying Levan. Fontaine has a better story. Oh yeah?
As such, Linny and Lynette
Laughing
are
at your
officially
mom. Oh,
declared
jeez.
not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank
Her
you
voice
all.
is super
Thank you
annoying
so
to me.
much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Uh-oh.
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
Rest in peace.
I
Hen, for real.
suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Oh, dude.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Uh-oh.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were
What?
supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-up
What?
said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that
He's
your
dead
plan
now?
has fallen through, and the secrets
get
of
it?
the water
Coupon-
have been
Coupon Town
revealed,
actually makes total
you have
sense
become a
now that you think about it.
liability to said higher-ups,
What the
yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
Oh, nice. They made ecstasy.
We've been in this business for a while now, and
So
have
maybe
made
stories
decent
peak in
more
your
off it.
opinion. Fontaine is good,
The
but it adds some
disappearances
holes.
were also the boss's
Such as
idea.
Trevor, Trusty
I mean,
Child, but
this
not
is
Liddy.
the boss we're talking about. The
Yeah. Oh. Oh, shoot. Ah! That's the third on-screen character death we've seen.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less.
Ayo, what the hell?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
How did he get obliterated like that?
Freaking water guns.
Someone in the background with a super soaker
just
just
going
getting
back
him.
now?
Just sniping him.
That's true, but
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
I agree with Finch. Sumeri was way too much talking and only a couple
I
good
know
spots.
you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me
Oh,
thank
so you
you
think the
again for
story's good, just
defending me
not the
to the
execution?
end.
That's how I feel
Even
about
after
all of
you
the
learned
nations
that I'm
of
a
this
member
place.
of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a
Fontaine's a lot of talking, but
Fatus,
things actually happen
it's because
while
the
we
goals
talk.
of
Yeah,
the House of the
we watched a
Hearth
guy just
align
die
with
right now.
those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Hey, Arlecchino, she's coming out
the one who
soon.
controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering.
Wait,
would you mind
so
hearing
all the
a story?
Fatui agents we kill are
It's
like
about my past.
orphans? Are
Back
we just
when our
killing a
parents
bunch of
first
orphans?
died,
That's kind of messed up.
Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat
House of the
together
Heart
with
is a
me
special
forever.
place that
Before
only the
long,
Knave has
an
control over.
aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished
What
to
are
take
the-
us in
so
after
the
watching my
random Fatui
performances.
agents are not
From
orphans
to
collected
nobility
from that
just
thing.
like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side. But I gradually discovered that while
Some
we
of them
were
maybe?
called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his
Who
social
is he?
circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
Foster dad.
Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular
okay,
performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless
Ayo,
of who
what
your
the hell?
assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escape. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
Yo.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Paimon, don't say it like a mobster.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Yeesh.
Father, I mean, the
What?
knave, might have
What a,
seen
like,
something in me, and
intense
so
plot
she made me an offer.
change.
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours.
Yeah, what
Here,
the heck is up
none
with
will
this
ever
super
betray
dark
you.
arc?
Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her.
Also, the Knave wasn't the original
I mean,
owner of the orphanage.
I had just been
It was
betrayed by nobles.
a lot worse before she came
But she
along.
was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans.
The original owner made the orphans
She
burn
has
down
gained permission
villages.
from the Sarita to first
What?
use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Outside of games.
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will always defend our homeland.
This is interesting.
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing.
It's all right. I understand.
You tried to read it, but only
the only thing I can do is relate all this to you.
Yeah, the manga sounds
I just
interesting.
hope you can
I haven't looked
understand
into
that
it at all,
even
though.
as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions.
You love the Koei portion?
And that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Bye, Linny.
The speed at which Paimon moved back and forth was really funny. It was so fast. It made your hate for Sino go down by 1 point. Well, that's good. Well, hey! We did Murder Mystery. Murder Mystery is done. Huzzah! Oh, cutscene. Great. Wonderful. Fabulous. Hey, Team Rocket.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as
Both
the
of them
trial
running.
ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie.
Navi
I'm
seems
a little
so
shocked
bummed.
to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
You think I don't like Navi because she's a bit loud,
Sorry
makes
about that.
assumptions, and you're
I'm a
too
bit
much of an
prone to
introvert?
nostalgia. Don't mind me.
Yeah,
Wait,
that sounds
Shall
about
we have a
right.
farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
That's really
Anyway,
interesting.
it would just
way
be a
of living.
meal, so it
You
shouldn't
love
take up
Navia?
too
You
much
wanna
of your
play the next
time.
rerun?
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If
Gio's
that's
not my
Navia's
thing.
treating, get Paimon.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the
You also
Hotel
want
de
to get
Bord?
her? You did her
I
story
believe we'll
crush.
make
She's
it
too
just
pure.
in time for dinner.
She sounds very sweet.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Her and Jungling's animation, like fan animation they made that you guys showed me, peak. Best. Are you guys excited for the possible upcoming Genshin anime? Honestly, you'd skip Arlecchino for Navia. The only reason you didn't pull Navia was because you didn't have any good weapons. Yeah, I don't think I have any good claymores in this account at all either. She's a claymore, right? She uses the big axe, yeah? It was announced years ago, and the way streaming is going, you don't think you'll be able to watch when it comes out? Yeah? You said it was announced years ago, but I've been told they've been working on it at Netflix recently. I think it was Netflix, right? If you don't enjoy Arlecchino, she's next in your sights. Fair enough. What was I gonna say? If they made an anime about Genshin, what would you want it to be about?
The world remains constant over the
I've
centuries.
decided that the best
But
thing they
human
could do
life
would
is
be
like
Kazuha
the
and
dew at
Kazuha's
dawn,
dead buddy.
or a
Their
bubble
adventures,
rising
I would
through
love to see
water.
that.
Transitory.
Anyways, I know it's a little earlier than normal, but I think this will be our stream today. I'm just so tired. I've had a lot going on today, so Yeah, you want it to be a slice of life about all the characters, and it's really funny and wholesome. That would be great, actually. Kind of like the little bits we saw in Sumeru of people interacting normally, like Al-Haytham and his roommate. I think that'd be cool. Or like the Zhongli Navia thing that we saw. That'd be sick. Thanks, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, this will be the stream. I'm so tired. Maybe we can get out some more information about characters that don't get any screen time. Yeah, that'd be great. Like the Sleepy Girl and Farzan and stuff. Characters that don't get a lot of screen time, yeah. Anyways, Monday we're going to do another stream. I think by Monday or Tuesday I will have what we're doing new to replace Nuzlocke figured out, and we'll do it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. As always, I love y'all. Have a good night, and I'll see you Monday.